Gotcha. You know what? I didn't even pop it up because normally I have it up. I like to, well, I need to see it because there might be comments now, you know? So I'm going to pop it up over here too. Okay, yeah. Well, now if we do the weather app push. All right, everyone. Good Wednesday morning, and thank you for waking up with Wesley. And if you're waking up, looks like it's a pretty nice day that you're waking up to because we are looking at a nice spring-like mild pattern continuing today. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Thanks for watching on our streaming through our news app. And also, you might have gotten a notification about this through our weather app this morning. So thanks for tuning in. This morning, what we're going to cover are a couple of topics involving the temperatures that are above normal. Some places could be not too far from a record high in parts of our region today. I will also talk a little bit about the fog, how we still have the chance to see some each morning, even though everyone might not see some. And then the final thing we'll talk about will be taking a dive into the rain chances because they're kind of low for now, but we are expecting higher chances by next week. So lots to cover today. So without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, fog this morning. Did you see any? If you're watching on the YouTube version of this video, you can actually just type in the live chat to me. I see Jerry is already in the chat. Good morning, Jerry. Shouts out to you. Some of you might not be watching on the YouTube version of this video, and that's fine. I just won't be able to chat with you. But anyway, some of you had some fog this morning. At this moment in time, as of 8:41 on Wednesday morning, looks like it is showing up over portions of Pearl River and Hancock counties. And we have visual confirmation with this live camera located on the coast of Hancock County at the Silver Slipper Casino. You can see the view is kind of obscured by fog this morning there. And that's been a place where we have consistently seen fog all morning. Every time I have checked that camera over the last 4 hours when we were back in Good Morning, Mississippi with our morning show, it's been foggy every time without any type of change in those conditions. This was an MDOT cam. It looks like the image is frozen here. But it does show some fog in parts of Hancock County near I-10 and Highway 603, which is very close to the Kill and Diamond Head, Mississippi. So there are some places that are still kind of foggy, even during the 8 o'clock hour, even though we haven't really seen much of that in parts of Gulfport, Biloxi. And I didn't really see much of it also in parts of Jackson County either. Now, let's talk about, switch gears, talk about less about the fog and more about temperatures because this morning's actually pretty nice. We're looking at some lower 60s, and then it's going to get kind of warm as we go to later today. Depending on exactly where you are will determine how high the temperature goes. We've got a couple of different zones. If you're familiar with my forecasting, then you should know mostly about what I'm about to tell you because for the coastal places like Ocean Springs, like Bay St. Louis, like other places that are south of I-10, you're probably only going to see temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s this afternoon, which is certainly above normal, but it's not going to make you break too much of a sweat. Now, for areas that are mainly north of I-10, thinking Saussure and Van Cleve and Lucedale, Wiggins, Perkinston, Big Level, Picayune, Poplarville, those are inland areas north of I-10. That also is the Kill as well, and parts of Diamond Head. So that's the forecast for y'all, and you're easily going to get into the upper 70s this afternoon. I wouldn't be surprised if some places actually came really close to 80. So with such a variation temperature-wise, that's why my forecast has to kind of have such a wide range of temperatures, because I'm not just forecasting for one town, I'm forecasting for dozens of towns in our 6th southernmost county viewing area of Mississippi. So the range of high temperatures today will be from about the upper 60s to about the upper 70s. It looks like a nice day, of course, after you're done with that potential for fog this morning. Now you can find your town and your community on the map here and look at the specific town forecast for your high temperature today. Like I mentioned, it does look like we're going to see that best potential for relatively cooler temperatures down closer to the coast, because you are located close to the cooler waters on the coast. So that's why your temperatures are, around 70 from Bay St. Louis through Ocean Springs. But then you go north of that and you're easily going to find your way into the mid or upper 70s. Jerry says definitely spring-like weather this week. This looks a lot like spring to me. Look at this stretch of upper 70s, basically from Big Point, Hurley, all the way through Saussure and LaRue, Van Cleve to even Moss Point, 77. But then when you're south of I-10, you could have some kind of low to mid 70s from Ocean Springs to Goshen to Pascagoula. Now, for our inland counties, Pearl River, Stone, and George counties, this is where I think we're going to see some places very close to 80 this afternoon. So, places like Poplarville, Wiggins, Lucedale, you'll be very close to 80 degrees on Wednesday afternoon. And this is nothing new. If you've been in those areas yesterday or the day before yesterday, the temperatures are about the same. You had temperatures close to 80 yesterday. You had temperatures close to 80 2 days ago. This trend is not moving very much. Not really a lot of change in our weather pattern day to day this week. But there are some changes next week, and we'll get to that in just a moment with the better rain chances and possibly cooler temperatures next week. But right before we get to that, one last thing about the temperatures. I mentioned that some places could be, near record values. Well, for Gulfport, Biloxi, forget about it. The place that keeps the climate record, the Gulfport Airport, we are forecasting 71 degrees for that high temperature at that specific site today. And 78, you're not going to beat that. So the record high of 78 set back in the 1920s will not be challenged today at the official climate recording site. But there are some other climate recording sites around the region that are going to come really close to setting a new record today. Take a look at this list. Like we said, Gulfport, Biloxi, not happening. With a forecast in the lower 70s, you're not going to tie the record or break the record of 78. But Hattiesburg, you're going to get to around 80 today. And that's just 3 away from the record of 83. Mobile also only 3 away from their record of 80 today. And then even closer to the records for New Orleans and Jackson, only 2 away in New Orleans and only 2 away in Jackson. So some places are finding kind of near record high temperatures for this Wednesday, February 5th. Maybe some of you might find your warmest February 5th ever on record in parts of the region. If it's not at those specific climate keeping sites, it could be, near there. So like we said, heading into next week, we are noticing a slight drop in temperature beyond Super Bowl Sunday. And if you've been paying very close attention to the weather forecast with each different update that comes out from yesterday morning, from last night, from this morning, you're noticing that some of these numbers aren't as low. The high temperatures for next week, these right here, next Monday, next Tuesday, they've kind of come up. When I updated the forecast this morning, I'm seeing a trend toward less of a cool down for us. So we might still have some 70s to go along with the 60s next week. We're also seeing a trend with the latest information this morning that is suggesting an increase in rain chance for next week. So while the rain chances for now are kind of on the slim side, 20% or less from now through Super Bowl Sunday, we go beyond that and we can see an increase in that rain chance. You got next Monday 30%, next Tuesday 40%. So yes, the chance for rain does look like it is going to go up, and we're going to talk about that now for the next 2 to 4 minutes on exactly why that is. So take a look at these maps as they load, showing the expected rain for the next 7 days. And as you can see, it definitely looks like dry conditions for Wednesday mostly dry for Thursday and Friday, other than just a little rain spritz or sprinkle. The weekend looks mostly dry as well, but then, yeah, this one sticks out, right? This Monday, Tuesday panel sticks out. Some heavier rains possibly in the northern part of the state near Oxford, and some light to moderate rain here in South Mississippi early next week. And so here's what's going on. Early next week, the situation is we're going to see a stalled front nearby our coast. And this stalled front nearby is going to be a focal point for some of the rain that's going to be happening in the deep south. The front would like to come on down. It would like to keep coming down toward the south and east, but it can't because there's a blocking area of high pressure. This high pressure that is located right here on the bottom right of your screen, that big blue H, is what is preventing the forward progression of that stalled front early next week. So we won't be able to get that kind of push of cooler air like you usually would when a front passes through. Now we've got two different computer models, the GFS and the European models, and we can take a look at next Monday. Here's next Monday morning. GFS model looks dry, Euro looks dry for next Monday morning. Now, how about next Monday in the middle of the day? GFS model shows some light rain possible. European model shows some light rain possible. So we could see some light rain. And then we go to next Monday night, and both the computer model scenarios show some light rain. But take a look at Tuesday. This is what caught my attention today, and what encouraged me to increase that rain chance for next Tuesday. And it might go up again if the trend continues. So the first part of Tuesday looks like this, where the GFS model brings some widespread showers to the area, but the Euro is pretty quiet. But then we get to the middle of Tuesday and both models agree. And so when we start to see the models agreeing, that is what is a signal to most meteorologists that, you know, we can become a little bit more confident that this might actually happen. We might get some rain around the middle of next week, early next week, I should say. And then you take a look at the later part of next Tuesday, and you can see the GFS kind of backing off a little bit, but the Euro actually, you know, pushing the gas pedal down a little bit more and seeing even heavier showers in parts of the area, the yellow indicating heavier or more intense rainfall. So the reason why we're going to see this as we take a look at the setup for Sunday, there's that stalled front. The stalled front has that atmospheric moisture with it that helps rain to develop. But the front doesn't ever get all the way down to the coast because of the blocking high. So we get a push of Gulf moisture that's going to increase the rain potential both on Monday as well as on Tuesday as a stalled front just kind of sits nearby. We can also track this system. It's a fast mover. See, if this were coming down to the south out of Canada, we would get a push of cooler air, but it's actually coming in from the west out of the Pacific Ocean. On Friday, it's located near the Rockies. On Saturday, it's located near the Great Lakes. And then on Sunday, it quickly moves offshore near the northeast U.S. It doesn't come down to the Gulf Coast. It moves east off the East Coast. And so that's why we don't really get kind of that push downward here, and why you can see this just lets some Gulf moisture kind of surge northward in the wake of it. So we're seeing these showers tapping into Gulf moisture next Monday, next Tuesday, and that gives us those better rain chances. So just wanted to give you a heads up, first alert, if you will, that we are watching those better rain chances for next week. As of today's forecast, the information shows about a 30% chance on next Monday, and about a 40% chance on next Tuesday. And depending on the latest model trends, maybe those chances might increase if the trend stays like it looks today for some possibly wetter weather at times next week. Well, that'll cover it for your Digital Desk update on this Wednesday morning. I hope that you have a great Wednesday, continuing to enjoy our spring-like conditions this week, including into the upcoming weekend. Thank you so much for waking up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Take care, everyone.